Gen Z didn't get rich. Gen Z stopped asking for permission. While everyone was commenting on a dance video, a whole generation was quietly building income underneath it. I'm going to show you exactly how that works. But first, you need to understand the years nobody posts about. Everyone repeats the same lazy explanation. Luck. A lucky generation, born right after the internet showed up. Only that's a lie, or at least, it's half a lie. What actually changed wasn't luck. It was shame. The generation before had shame around selling. Selling felt dirty. It felt desperate. It felt like something you did if you had no real talent. Gen Z looked at that shame and simply didn't feel it. Take the biggest YouTuber alive. Jimmy Donaldson uploaded his first video in 2012 at 13 years old. Nobody watched. He kept posting for 4 straight years. By the middle of 2016, he had about 30,000 subscribers. That's not a typo. 4 years, 30,000. And there's a second story just like it. A kid from Cincinnati opened his channel in 2016. He didn't start live streaming until 2018. His first stream pulled 2 viewers, not 2,000. 2, he kept going anyway. Now multiply that kind of patience by millions of people doing the same thing at the same time. This has a name. It's called the creator economy. Once you understand the name, you understand it was never about going viral. It's about distribution. Every person became their own sales channel. Nobody has to wait to get picked by a company anymore. Only there's a second floor to this story, and that's where it stops being pretty. For every name you recognize, there are thousands of accounts still stuck at 30,000 subscribers, still stuck at 2 viewers, still grinding in the exact spot where those 2 started. The part nobody shows you is the invisible work. There's no lunch break in a career that depends on showing up every single day. Jimmy Donaldson didn't break through in month 1. He broke through in year 5. With a video of himself counting out loud for over 40 hours straight. That's the real timeline. 5 years of nothing. Then one video that changed everything. Now you're probably thinking that's an extreme case. I thought so too, until I looked closer. The previous generation had a contract. Work 30 years. Save a little. Retire with some kind of safety net. Gen Z traded that contract for a different one. And this one has no fine print because nobody wrote it yet. No steady paycheck while you build. No manager telling you when to stop. No boss to blame when it fails. And also, no boss to catch you when you're exhausted. Picture a random Tuesday, 11 at night. Someone editing tomorrow's video because skipping one day tanks the whole week's reach. Hold on to that image. It comes back at the end. There are 2 ways to look at money appearing this fast. The first one is obvious. Talent, luck, good timing. The second one, almost nobody points out, because it's boring and it doesn't make a good highlight reel. The second reason is volume. It's not one person getting lucky, it's an army of people trying at the same time. Posting 3 times a day, testing format after format. The math is quietly doing the dirty work behind the scenes. For every overnight success story, there are hundreds of accounts that never took off. They didn't go viral. They didn't earn a cent. The person quit in month 3 with nothing to show for it. The Cincinnati kid streamed to almost nobody for 3 years. Then his subscriber count jumped from 100,000 to 1 million in a matter of days. 3 years of 2 viewers, then a jump that looked instant to everyone watching from the outside. It wasn't instant, it just became visible all at once. What's the last thing you did without thinking about how much it earns or who's watching? Actually sit with that question for a second. Drop it in the comments. I read through every one of them, and it's the kind of answer that stays with me for days. And if you made it this far, it's probably because you've already felt this exact kind of tired, even if you're not living that life yet. Here's the turn. Making money this way was never about having one brilliant idea. It's about turning your own identity into a product, every single day, without a pause. That changes what a person is on the inside. When the product is you, a bad day becomes a financial loss. One nasty comment stops being feedback. It starts feeling like a personal attack. The older generation kept who they were separate from where they worked. You didn't like your boss, but you went home, and you were just yourself again. A lot of Gen Z doesn't have that door to close. The work is the face is the product, and the product never shuts off. Run that math across an entire lifetime and see what's left over. There's a reason so many rich young creators are also exhausted, medicated, unable to say no to a single day off. The reason is simple, and nobody puts it in a motivational video. Income with no ceiling and no structure also means pressure with no ceiling and no structure. The strange part is, nobody did this to this generation. They chose it, wide awake, trading security for freedom. And whoever makes that trade pays for it every single day, even when the price never shows up on a bank statement. And before you say your case would be different, that you'd know when to stop. That's what everyone tells themselves at the start. The trap isn't getting stuck all at once. It's getting stuck one day at a time, always pushing rest to next week. Because next week always looks like the wrong moment to finally let go. There's a name for this too. It's called performance fatigue. It's not tiredness in the body. It's the exhaustion of being watched constantly, even on the days you'd rather not exist in public at all. Gen Z didn't get rich by luck. They got rich by losing the shame around selling their own image in public every day. Jimmy Donaldson spent 8 years failing before it worked. The Cincinnati Kid spent 3 years talking to 2 people before it worked. And both of them still pay for it now in the one currency no amount of money ever buys back. Real rest. Remember that 11 o'clock image? The video getting edited so the algorithm doesn't forget you exist. That's not the exception. That's the standard. It's the entry price of a game that looks endless, but bills you in rest instead of dollars. If this one hits something in you, drop a like. That's what gets this video in front of someone who needs to hear it today. And if you want to keep thinking about this kind of thing with me, subscribe. There's a new reflection here every week. If it didn't land, that's fine too. Thanks for staying until the end.